Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're jumping into the story of Estuary. It's this town that, well, it almost fell apart because of too much information, conflicting interests.
Yeah, and this constant pressure for a quick fix. It's a fascinating look, really, at how a community got tangled up in complexity.
But also how they found a way out, right? By actually learning to listen.
Exactly. The source material shows their whole life revolved around the bay. You know, the marsh grass, the oysters, that was their identity, their economy.
Until this creeping sickness started.
Mm-hmm. The water getting murky, these weird algae blooms showing up more and more often, and then the fish just started disappearing.
Which must have caused panic and blame.
Oh, absolutely. Total stakeholder divergence. You had the fishermen pointing straight at the new developments and their runoff.
Okay.
Then the developers firing back saying, no, it's the old septic systems from the homeowner.
Then the homeowners blaming.
Probably the fishermen, maybe overfishing, or just everyone was shouting, basically. Nobody was piecing it together.
So all eyes turned to the town manager, Mark. He's got to do something.
Right. The public pressure to act was immense. You know, doing nothing feels like failing, even if you don't have a good answer yet. He felt he had to deliver something visible, fast.
And that led to the big chemical treatment plan.
Yep. Huge expense, pour chemicals in the bay, kill the algae. Problem solved, right?
Uh-oh. Sounds like a classic symptomatic fix.
Textbook. Loop B1, you could call it. It brings that immediate relief. The water clears up for a bit. Mark looks like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
But the underlying issues, the pollution sources, the failing infrastructure, untouched, still festering, actually getting worse while everyone's distracted by the temporary fix.
But couldn't you argue, with all that pressure, maybe he needed that flawed fix just to buy some breathing room? Politically.
It bought time, yeah, but the cost. The sources are really clear on the unintended consequences, those chemicals. They didn't just kill the algae.
What else did they hit?
They wiped out loads of beneficial bacteria, the good stuff that actually helps keep the bay's ecosystem, stable.
So the next spring.
Disaster. The algae came roaring back, but this time it wasn't just a bloom. It was described as a thick, toxic blanket. Way worse than anything they'd seen before.
Wow. So they're trapped. More algae means more pressure for chemicals, which means
more damage to the underlying system. That's your loop R3. Fixes that fail. They got addicted to the very thing that was poisoning the bay.
And the breaking point was the great fish kill.
Yeah. Thousands of dead fish washing ashore, the smell, the sight. It was impossible to ignore anymore. That sheer scale of failure, that visible decay, finally made them stop.
So Mark, the town manager, he must have been finished politically.
Pretty much disgraced, yeah. But at the next town hall, instead of proposing another fix, he did something unexpected. He basically yielded the floor.
To who?
Elena, a retired marine biologist who lived locally, and she didn't come with charts and data, not at first. She brought an old map.
An old map of the bay.
Yeah, yellowed, probably wrinkled. This was the pivot to collaborative dialogue. Her genius wasn't just her science background, it was getting people to look at the same thing together.
How did she use it?
She just asked people to mark the map. Stop blaming, start showing. Where were things happening? Where were their interests, their activities located? Building that shared understanding piece by piece.
And there was a specific moment, wasn't there? A turning point.
Yes. The sources highlight this. John, one of the oldest fishermen, points to where the best oyster beds used to be, historically. Prime location.
Okay.
Then Sarah, the head of the development company, kind of hesitantly, marks where their big new storm drains empty out. The two spots, almost exactly the same place, right on top of each other.
Ah. You could probably hear a pin drop.
Exactly. Suddenly, it wasn't about bad guys. It was about how their different activities were converging physically with disastrous results. The focus just shifted.
From blame to the root cause.
Right. Towards the fundamental solution, which everyone could now see involved restoring the marshlands, the natural filters. Mark could then justify redirecting the money budgeted for chemicals.
Towards Elena's community workshops and the actual restoration work.
And that kicked off the slow process. Collaborative progress, Loop B3, if you like. Fishermen working with scientists on oyster seeding.
Developers getting involved with rain gardens, I read.
Yeah, and even kids getting involved planting marsh grass seedlings. It wasn't fast, it wasn't easy, but the community started healing itself while they were healing the bay. Fixing the system together.
It's a powerful story. It really shows that for these messy, complex problems, the quick fix is often, well, just another layer of the problem.
Absolutely. The real solution often lies in that commitment to, well, listening. properly listening, finding the root cause together, even when it's uncomfortable, and then doing the slow, hard work.
So maybe the thought to leave everyone with is this. Think about your own world, your work, maybe even your life. Are you seeing the same kind of temporary fixes applied over and over again?
That pattern is the big red flag for the fixes that fail trap.
So where are things stuck for you? Because maybe all the stakeholders just haven't agreed to mark that map together yet. Something to think about until our next deep dive.